What's up, everybody? Steve here, and today we're making more soup. We're making Menudo today, which is a Mexican beef stomach soup, and I'm adding gelatinous beef tendon to the party. And not a lot of people you can eat this dish with. It's a very specific group of flavors and textures, and I remember eating this with my brother-in-law Dan often, and he would crush the oregano between his palms as such to release the aromatics. A thick, spicy, salty soup full of collagen. Hit it with some lime, some hot sauce, and we use Honeycomb tripe, aka tripe, and I'm using just beef tendon that you can get at any Asian market or Mexican market. So let's get it started. Alright, so we have our dried chilies here. We have guajillo, and these are arbol. Get them in the dried section at any Asian market, Indian market, Mexican market. And we're going to take off the stems and just cut them down into bite-sized pieces. I'm going to add some cloves and 1 star anise. And we're going to leave the seeds in on these. Add boiling water, and we're going to let this soak for 1 hour and rehydrate and soften up. Next, we're going to prep our tripa. This here is Honeycomb tripe, the first beef stomach, versus the book tripe, which is used in pho, which is the second stomach. So if you're making menudo, it's recommended to use honeycomb. It's more firm. It has a more stable texture for menudo. And here is our beef tendon, also the same that we use for pho. And I believe, but don't quote me, it's the Achilles tendon here, and then into our high quality H2O it goes. Bring it up to a low boil, get things going here. We're going to add our fresh aromatics. I'm going to add a little crushed ginger and some garlic just to kind of clean up the flavors, brighten up the broth a bit. And then we're going to add half a yellow onion. Low simmer here, get everything into the pool, and then we're going to add our salt. All right, let that rock for about, I say 45 minutes, and then we're going to get started on our chili paste. So we're going to add our rehydrated dried chilies into a blender here. Add a little bit of that juice. Give it a quick hello. And then we're going to add the garlic and the onions that's been brewing in the broth. It should be soft by now, about 45 minutes in the broth there. And then add some of that juice just to loosen up the blending process here. Blend that lady down, and then we're going to add our spice mixture into the broth. We're not going to strain it. I like it thick and soulful. Just make sure you blend it for a longer time if needed, so it doesn't have chunks in there. And then we're going to season it with some pink sea salt, Himalayan sea salt, whatever you call it. And this is my little touch. I add a little fish sauce to the party. Bring it up to a boil. And we're going to let it slow simmer with the lid on for 3 hours. And after 3 hours, you don't want to touch it. You just want to let it brew so nothing breaks apart. And look at how soft our beef tendon is. This is the texture we want. Just a little structure left, but you can tell it's wiggly, it's woggly. Oh, baby. And I was going to take it out on a cutting board to cut, but it's so soft I don't want to do any more dishes. So just take some scissors, some shears, and cut her down. Just as so easy and soft. Oh, baby. Cut her down and you're basically finished. You can season it more with salt if need be and fish sauce, but this one was perfect. You want it on the saltier side so you can balance it when you fix it up later. And we're going to prepare ourselves a bowl. This is great for hangovers, great for a cold day. Organ meat used to be cheaper. It's not as cheap as back in the day, but still cheaper than going out to get soup at a taqueria. And I think it's just more flavorful when you make it at home. Garnish it with some onions and some cilantro. I didn't add any hominy. You can add hominy, but I don't really like the texture and flavor of hominy. I feel like it overpowers everything. And yeah, just enjoy. You can eat it with tortillas. You can add avocado to the party, but we're trying to limit our carbs here. So I'm just going straight protein, high in vitamins, high in collagen. Shout out Omar. I gave my Mexican homie some Menudo to bring home to him and his father. And it was approved by Theo. And I'm invited to the carne asada, the next carne asada. So that's all that matters in life. Shout out Omar and his dad. And thank you guys for watching. What are we cooking next?